Have you ever just stared at a loaf of bread and wondered, how does that happen? You start with this dense, sticky lump of dough, and it becomes this light, fluffy, amazing thing we all love. Well, it might seem like magic, but it's actually pure science. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see exactly how it works.
I mean, really think about it. This is the big mystery, right? How does a heavy blob of flour and water turn into something so light and full of air? It's one of those everyday miracles we kind of take for granted. But not today. Today, we're breaking it all down.
All right, so let's start our journey right where the action begins, in the mixing bowl. You'll be surprised how this incredible transformation kicks off with just a handful of really simple things.
So here's our cast of characters. You've got your flour, your water, and a little bit of salt. They're the foundation for sure. But there's one more ingredient on this list that's the real superstar. It's the tiny, invisible engine that drives this whole process. Yep, I'm talking about yeast. Okay, so let's zoom in on that superstar ingredient, yeast. You got to think of it as an invisible army of microscopic bakers. Seriously, they're about to do all the heavy lifting for us.
So what is this stuff really? Yeast isn't just some random powder you add. No way. It is a living thing, a tiny, single-celled fungus that's essentially dormant, just waiting for the perfect moment to wake up. And just like any living thing, when it wakes up, it's hungry.
And here's the game plan. It's pretty simple. First, you add some warm water, and that's like its alarm clock. The yeast wakes up. Then, it starts feasting on all the natural sugars it can find in the flour. And here's the crucial part. As it eats, it starts releasing something. It's basically burping out tiny bubbles of carbon dioxide gas, the same gas we breathe out. Okay, but hold on a second. That's a great question, isn't it? If the yeast is just pumping out all of this gas, why doesn't the dough just, fizzle out? What's stopping all those little gas bubbles from just escaping into the air and leaving us with a flat pancake? Well, the answer is we need to build a trap for all that gas, and that trap is called gluten. Now here's the cool part. You don't add gluten to bread dough, you create it. And the way you create it is by kneading the dough. This is where the real workout begins. Just look at this transformation. Before you start kneading, the proteins in the flour are just a jumbled, tangled mess. But as you work the dough, those proteins start to link up, organizing themselves into this amazing, strong, and super stretchy network. It's like you're creating millions of tiny, microscopic balloons inside the dough, all ready and waiting to catch that gas from the yeast. So our dough is filled with all these tiny, gas-filled gluten balloons. It's risen beautifully. And now, it's time for the grand finale, the trial by fire. Let's talk about what happens when it hits the heat of the oven. So much happens inside the oven and it happens fast. First, the heat causes all those trapped gas bubbles to expand really quickly, giving the loaf one last big puff. That's called oven spring. Then, as it gets hotter, the heat actually cooks and solidifies that gluten network, locking that beautiful airy structure in place permanently. And finally, that beautiful brown crust forms thanks to a little something called the Maillard reaction, which creates all that amazing toasty flavor and color. And just like that, it's done. From a simple pile of flour and water to a perfect slice of bread. Let's do a super quick recap of the science that got us here. So when you boil it all down, it's really this beautiful four-step dance. The yeast makes the gas, the kneading builds the net traps the gas, and finally, the oven's heat expands the gas and then locks the whole structure in place. It's an incredible partnership between biology and chemistry, happening right in your kitchen. And that's really the whole thing, isn't it? So the next time you pick up a fresh loaf or make a sandwich, maybe you won't just see a simple food. Maybe you'll see what it really is, an absolutely delicious feat of science.